afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another show of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM show, season 2. We're now back in the south with our third show down south. Overall, the 11th show. It's today, Thursday, the 17th of August, and I have a very interesting show, session, and an even better panel. The subject, of course, today is how far has our industry come with important matters like diversity, inclusion, and equal job opportunities. And what is the pace of change that one would expect? I have some amazing general managers, like I just said. But before that, let me thank Diversey, our presenting partner. Diversey's story began a century ago in Chicago. They've since expanded to over 100 countries across the world, out of which 80 of them physically. They've created innovative cleaning solutions that meet the needs of various industry sectors, including hospitality. Can we now see the Diversey video, please? Thank you again, Diversey. A bit on our show format and the series. Our show format is regional, it's virtual. We roll from the north to the west to the south, and this time we'll be heading into the east, followed by the northeast and central. We do 2 shows every week, Thursday and Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. And we are relayed live across our platforms, be it bwhotelier.com or our YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Be there, follow us, encourage us, support us. That will encourage us to go ahead and bring you more such gems. For those of you who've missed watching our show for any reason, hospitality jobs are calling, they're very busy. You can watch them after work or on the weekend across the platforms that I just spoke about. It's now time for me to dive into the show. Permit me to introduce our August speakers. Let me begin with Kadambari Sabharwal Talwar. Kadambari is the general manager of the Courtyard by Marriott in Bengaluru, Hebbal. Welcome to the show, Kadambari.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Call me Bhuvanesh.
A bit tough, but I'll try.
Yeah, all right. Next in is Sita Lekshmi. Sita,
hello,
hi.
good evening.
Sita
Hi.
is the general manager of the rather well-appointed and fashionable Aloft in Bangalore on the outer ring road. This was one of the first hotels that I hit with Dilip Puri when I came into this business.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Welcome to the show. Next in is Manisha Sharma. Manisha Sharma is the general manager of the Renaissance Bangalore Racecourse Hotel. Welcome to the show, Manisha.
Good afternoon, Mr. Khanna. Thank you so much and pleasure to be here.
Looking forward to getting to your hotels, the ones that I've not seen. Shall be there.
Thank you. Most welcome. I look forward to that.
All right. Next in is Amreeta Banerjee. She is the general manager for the Holiday Inn Express Bengaluru in Yeshwantpur.
Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Pleasure to be here.
Welcome, Amreeta. Yeshwantpur is a great place. You have the IKEA store just about a stone's throw and the ISKCON.
Sure.
Last but not the least, I'm going to the city where I have family, Kochi, and a Punjaban who's a general manager there, Shibani Malhotra. She's the general manager of the 4 Points by Sheraton, Kochi Infopark. Hi, Shibani.
Hi, namaskaram everybody. Good evening and very warm thank you for having me here.
Such a pleasure. All right, before we begin the show, I'd like to take a moment of, we've had tragedy striking us all yesterday. We lost Winston. Not very easy. It's tough for the family, tough for IHCL, tough for the entire community. Vincent has touched so many lives. It's not been very easy for me, for my colleagues, and the industry at large, like I said, ever since last evening. It was a little after 6, within minutes of his passing, that I heard of it. It's taken me a bit to come to terms, but life has to go on. Vincent was in the prime of his life. It's been very sad, untimely, and unfortunate. He was young, he was happening, he had so much to give to his family, to IHCL, and to the industry. Genial, polite, calm, collected, and doing extremely well for himself. A wonderful leader, a wonderful soul, family man, husband, and a colleague. We plan a few weeks ahead. I'd lined up, and we are planning to do 2 shows in Goa. I'd lined up Winston to lead the first show in Goa. Now that seat shall remain vacant in the name of Vincent. He's there with us, he'll stay with us. As a mark of respect, I shall request you all to maintain a few moments of silence, to pray for him, his family, and may his soul rest in peace. IHCL has truly lost a gem. But it's a resilient organization, great brand, great company. They'll bounce back. Rest in peace, my brother Vincent. Honestly, heavens are richer with you there. We may be poorer. Life has to go on. The show must go on. Let the lights come in and let's roll. Adios, Vincent. Right. Where is Manisha? All right, Manisha. There you are. Let me now roll on with the show. How far has our industry come with important matters like diversity, inclusion, and equal job opportunities? And what is the pace of change that someone would expect? Let me roll in with the first question with Kadambari. Are you ready, Kadambari?
Absolutely, Mr. Khanna. Bring it on.
All right. Perhaps in a first in the Indian hospitality industry, Marriott has Ranju Alex to lead India. That is one giant step in statement. Your view.
So, Mr. Khanna, first and foremost, thank you very much for the opportunity once again. I think this is a brilliant question, and I think it's brilliant not only because it gives me a platform to be able to put my point of view across, but also because it's very rarely that you get to speak about your super boss in a public platform, right? But jokes apart, I think, the minute we put Ranju away as a female leader and we look at her as a candidate, and for the sake of what I'm going to say forward, I think we need to just focus on the word candidate more than Ranju at this point in time. So I'm going to give it a try. But here's a candidate who comes in with 28 years of experience in the hospitality, 12 years with Marriott, passed out from IHM Kolkata, moved into OCLD, moved out with flying colors, joined B. Oberoi, did very well at B. Oberoi, moved into the Marriott with a select service brand, the budget hotels as we call them. established herself, moved into a resort hotel and then into a luxury hotel, positioned the hotel that she was in, paved way for 5 more in that particular city. Opportunities aglow, boundaries broken, moved into MPVP role, which is a multi-property role, held, a leader role for Bangalore, for Kochi. Again, broke all stereotypes, moved across, and then moved into a market vice president role for South Asia. She leads from the front. This candidate has n number of accolades, is a people's person, would love to get into the nitty-gritty of things. When you think about a candidate who has leadership up the sleeve, plus has empathy, you think of a candidate who can really take the portfolio of hotels that a particular company has to the next level. But I think I want to pause there and really say, do I need to say more about the candidate? Is it about the candidate or is it about the gender of the candidate? Right? I think what Marriott has tried to do, intentionally or intentionally, is really bring that equal platform out. It's more to say, let the best candidate win. Let the person who's right for the role win. We've all who've been in the company been brought up with certain core values, and we talk very fondly of the diversity, inclusion, and the equity that is out there. I think this is a fabulous example. Personally, kudos to Ranju. She's paved a way for many women leaders, and I think she's broken a lot of stereotypes. It's inspirational, aspirational, and like I said, kudos to her. So a great example, for sure.
Excellent. I've known Ranju for a bit now. She's a great leader. She's in that position because she's the best one for the job, right? She's a great leader. She's happening, and she has that electric presence, where she can get people around. She's well-rounded, and more than anything else, she's a great example for our, and not example, a great ambassador for our industry, for the brand, and for the job she drives. And managing India, a growing portfolio, is not an easy job. And mind you, both our kids are hoteliers too, right? So,
yeah.
So great job. So my point is about the show, equal opportunities. So this is a great example for an equal opportunity situation. So thank you, Kadambari. Sita, if you will permit me to come to you with the next one. How have you seen Indian hospitality transform over the years, for women especially? And how tough or easy has it been if you were to look back? Today, where you are, good thus far. But when you look back, yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for this question. I think it's something that's very close to all of our hearts to talk about our journey, right? And Kadambari started on a very high note talking about Ranju. I'm a big Ranju fan myself, so I think the show has started very well. So when I started my career, it was 18 years ago, and I realized very quickly that women were underrepresented in the industry in senior leadership positions. And I could see that in the hotel that I had worked in. And not just that hotel, I think 18 years ago, it was the case for most of the hotels in India. However, I think over the years, I realized that when I look back into my hotel management days, we were 100 students in the batch, right? And there were only 10% women. So it will obviously be known to us that we will be underrepresented later in life as we grow up the ladder. The number of women in senior positions were very, very less. The change I have seen is the fact that women are filling senior positions, not only just in senior management roles, but also board of directors and even higher designations. Ranju being a very live example and an inspiration for all of us. And these women inspire the youngsters to follow their footsteps. So I think that has been something that's brilliant and that has changed. Also, if you see, when I started my career back then, there were very limited brands to work with. We didn't have many brands accessible to many people in various cities, because mostly women, and I'm talking my own example, right? My mother wouldn't have wanted me to go too far away, even though I ended up in Shimla, which is very far from where I come from, but she would have wanted me to work somewhere closer to home. And there are many parents who worry about young girls leaving home at the age of 20 or 21 working far away. So we didn't have these many brands available back then. So I think the number of hotels increasing in the country also has given us the opportunity to grow up in the industry. What's interesting is the research by World Travel and Tourism that I read, that travel and tourism employ twice as many women as in compared to any other industry. Also in the G20, and I used this in somewhere a couple of months ago with my leadership team, that hospitality as an industry employ about 47% of women, while across the economy, the number of women employed is only 43. It's a slight change, but it's still, it's still ahead. So I think it's a very positive thing. Now, having said that, I am also a very firm believer that women are best suited in the industry because of our hospitality instincts. During COVID, I think it was during lockdown, I read a beautiful article about how mothers are the best leaders, right? And there will be a lot of arguments or disagreement around this topic, but I do believe that women are great at connecting their teams, anticipating the guest needs. So I think it's as an industry, it's amazing for a woman to become a leader. Now I want to close this with some bit of reality, because I see that we have grown, we have come a long way, and there are a lot of opportunities for women to grow. For all the people who are watching this, I do want to tell them, men and women alike, that there will be hurdles and there will definitely be some stereotyping. Nobody is going to promise you a perfect world or a perfect industry. But if you choose to show up consistently with discipline as your best version, then gender will cease to exist. It will cease to matter, because performance does not know gender. So that's what I firmly believe in. Thank you so much.
True. If looking back from where I come from, the years that I come from, I'm older than you are. I look younger, but that's fine. No, okay, now on a serious note, it wasn't very easy then. But the pace of change has been significant, right? My wife is an educator. My daughters are into communication and design. I don't see any girl today who's just a housewife. But then we guys are not the right example for, we are typically city folks. There's an India away from us. Change has to happen there. Those stories that we read, I don't want to talk about them, but I just hope things change. And the change has to go beyond the metros and the mini metros and the tier 2s. It has to go where the masses are. And let me tell you, with the advent of the broadband, the internet, the social media, the pace of change is going to be faster and far more rapid than we've experienced as yet. Thus far, so good. But yeah. So let me now come to you, Manisha. Your brand shows well behind you.
Thank you.
Tell me, when I was writing this question, I was chuckling as tell me, no more Cinderella in the book and movies. Indian women are not just marching foot in sync with their male counterparts. They're doing India proud with their achievements across domains they work in, from home to the corporate world, medicine, education, politics, aviation, hospitality, you name it, your view. Now listen, I'm going to ask you for your view. Now look at that longest flight, all-women flight. It was an all-women flight over the North Pole into New York, or was it Chicago? and that was all woman crew, right? So yeah, there you are. Manisha, over to you before you forget my question.
No, I have not forgotten your question. And thank you so much for this platform and the opportunity. Your question is a brilliant question and very apt for the panel that we have today. And if I look at the question, first of all, I agree that women are at the forefront of every domain now, and which was earlier not the case. And as my colleagues spoke and gave great examples of Ranju, and this is of course breaking the stereotype. But now we are contributing to many more fields which were earlier very male dominated, whether it is aviation, whether it is defense, whether it is any field that we name it now. And even if we go back and look at yesteryears, we've had many legends to talk about, whether it was Indira Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu, Kalpana Chawla, Mother Teresa, you name it, but they were very few in numbers. Now the contributions have gone up. So we see a marginal difference in the number that we have. And this is, of course, paving the way for many more women leaders to come up. And this is a difference that we see now. And this visible volume shift of more representation in every domain by women has also led companies to move ahead and show the changes and bring gender parity. And I would say women empowerment and gender diversity, inclusion are aspects that have found new meaning now. And there is a paradigm shift that we see. Now, if we look at as general managers, we have a lot to contribute. And at the same time, if we are contributing to this change, we will have a larger talent pool by the end of it. So there is more that we can take out from this and also ensure that we are part of this change.
Oh, yeah, you're being in the industry, in the job, in the hot seat, and being on the show is proof of that. Let me tell you, this is one of my favorite topics. I'm going to be doing these across the regions. I want to showcase and bring more general management talent from the gender to the show and to present their views. Amreeta, if you would permit me to come to you, I have one line for you. In fact, I have two. So let me begin with the first one. Let us take up here the matter of equal opportunities for all. It is happening, but is it the norm in the Indian hospitality industry? Do you agree with it? What are your views?
Sure. Again, another one of my favorite topics, as the other wonderful ladies have shared already. Yes, we are marching forward. Organizations are bringing in policies to ensure this is in place. But whether it is norm yet, that's a work in progress, I would say again. When we go back and see some of the statistics which shows that in the top management level, there are about only 10% of the women reaching to that level. While we have a lot more women entering, girls entering at the entry level, but after a few years, when they reach that mid-management level, when they are assistant managers to managers, they lose out. It could be due to various reasons. It could be the commitment levels back in the families or at workplace. We do not know, but for various reasons, we lose them somewhere in between. So as leaders, I feel we should work. This is something which needs to be worked on as a top priority if we have to really see some remarkable changes. As Manisha rightly said, there has to be a paradigm shift in helping us breaking those stereotypes. Otherwise, we will only be talking about this in these type of shows or probably reading certain articles. This would never become a reality. So as women leaders and all other leaders in the country, in the world, we all should see how best we can be a helping hand to them to ensure, they overcome those little hurdles and grow up the ladder, get into the top management level. That's what I feel.
Excellent. Tell me, I mean, this is to all of you. You've selected the career, you've selected the industry, the domain, and you're there in this job. We all get married. We grow our families. The challenge of moving to new locations for new assignments can be telling. Shibani is proof. You're all proof. You've all moved in from various locations, right? Shibani is sitting in Kerala, right? So tell me a bit about this. How easy or difficult? Let's all chat this up, because this can be a limiting factor. How have you overcome this?
Absolutely. I would say that yes, at times we give up on our career aspirations, especially at the stage when we are, with a young toddler. This is a hurdle for sure, but then
or a separated family. Your husband is working somewhere, you're working somewhere.
Yes, even that way, it is challenging, I feel. And a lot of us have, at some point in time in our lives, in our careers spanning close to 2 decades, we have felt it somewhere. So I do feel and I do agree that this does impact. But then if we have good support system, especially from our family, our friends, our colleagues, our life partners, if they all form a good support system, then I think we should be able to sail through. That's what I feel.
What about you, Kadambari?
I think, there are different perspectives to it, but honestly, what I feel is that you have to make certain choices at different life cycle stages. When you're not married, it's easier to move about. When you're married but without a child, it still might be easier to move about. When you have a child, it's a decision that you need to make as a family. And you think that your family is as supportive as you are of them, right? So I've been lucky in that manner. When I wanted to move, the entire family moved. So like I said, I'm possibly one of the luckier ones in that field. But it is a choice for everybody put together in that family to make, right? Again, as your child grows older and doesn't need that much of guidance, it may be easier to move. But yes, it according to me is what you choose for yourself, for your family, and for your career.
Shibani, your case, sitting in Kochi.
Well, I pretty much echo what Kadambari was sharing. Essentially, I think it's all about the family support. It's that's where you draw your energies from, and it's a collaborative decision that we make together to do or not to do. And really what really boils down to is about making a choice, what is best suited for the family at large. And essentially the one piece that I want to just add to say is, I think irrespective of a toddler or an adult, I think we as ladies, we just can't let go of the umbilical cord. So as far as possible, we try and drag everyone with us wherever we can and how. Yeah. So if you can do that, kudos, cheers. Otherwise, it's a choice and how. And I just feel, that's a collaboration really on the table to take forward.
Excellent. Sita?
So I moved to Bangalore 18 months ago from where Shibani is now. I was in Kochi. And the first 7 years of my career, I moved around. I was okay to move around. I wasn't married and I didn't have a child, but I had a good 8 years of nesting period after I had my son. I was in Chennai working in various hotels in different roles, but I was not okay to move out of Chennai because my support system was quite strong. It was only when he turned 8 and was able to convey everything to me in a proper manner that I felt it was safe to move out, because if I had a nanny or a house help and he's able to tell me if something goes wrong, right? So as a mother, I had to make that conscious choice that I didn't want to move out of Chennai till he was 8. But then after that, now my family has been supportive, and this is my third city in the last 4 years, so which is great.
Oh, touch wood. Excellent. Manisha?
So I hear everybody, and I guess there are bits and pieces of all the conversations that I will take from there. It is a choice that we make. It is a collaborative effort. has a family never failed? I guess I've moved so many times, I've taken risk. I would have failed so many times. We were in it together. But at the same time, there were many, many learnings out of this. Today, I can proudly say that, my son would be more adaptable to a lot of situations that he would face in life as he moves ahead. So that is my take on a journey that I've had with many areas that we've explored in life.
So you know what? A whole lot of girls in the industry who are in similar situations will be watching this and hearing this. So I think they should take heart that here are women who've overcome these hurdles and challenges, right? And have breached the tape to reach where they are, and they're going further, right? Yeah, there are CXOs in the waiting. Shibani, your question remains. So tell me, one of my pet questions. Gender diversity and inclusion has been a small but significant and important beginning that had been made, especially by bringing in the LGBTQ community. Right? I want to be fairly invested in this.
Great.
And contribute. I've had the privilege of meeting and dealing with a few, especially with Keshav Suri. He's a great ambassador for the cause, who's doing some shining work. We're all made differently, right? We can't operate and work in silos that our society has created, right? We need to step out. We need to take the headwinds, and we need to call out for the change. Your views?
Great. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity, and namaskaram to all again from God's very own country. So let me begin by saying or sharing three powerful words. Yeah, embrace, empower, and never marginalize. Pretty much coined by Mr. Keshav Suri that you just mentioned a few seconds ago. Those are his foundation principles that he's laid out. And just for everybody's benefit, he's the executive director of Lalit Hotels. And before I really move on, just to his cause and to all the people out there trying to be the change in making the planet an inclusive world and a safe world, I just want to raise a toast, and I would just want to say more power to all of you out there. Having said that, I'd just like to place a point or a share, so to say. We're in a business of curating experiences. Yeah, we're in a business of personalization. We're in a business of privacy. In fact, as time would tell, we've been trained on valuing differences. We've been trained on privacy laws, not to judge anyone, not to breach any trust, and not to be opinionated. And this is something that's been a journey for all of us. I'm sure everybody in the room would agree with me. And that's what really makes our industry so very unique. So if I had to really put in a term there or coin a piece, I would say our customers, both internal and external, they are assets, really, not gender. So fundamentally, all I'm saying is that, we as ambassadors of change, to the diversity, inclusion, equality, it's all about bringing out the equal opportunity, something that Kadambari also shared and a few of my other colleagues. And the idea is really to make that merit-based and be the change, and pace it and how. So essentially, that's something that I would really like to place on the table in terms of my view. And if I could, I'd just like to add a little to say that, I have myself had the opportunity to work with some very special people in my last assignment as well. In fact, I worked with somebody called Dr. Mona Veronica Campbell. She's the first transgender plus model size representing India. And the experience was fabulous. Coming from a South Indian family, it's a story to tell, it's a story to read. Not only that, I had the honor of even working with somebody called Supriyo Chakravarti, who's operating from, he used to be a part of IHN, Hyderabad, and then transitioned into being an entrepreneur, is a wedding planner, and in fact an advocate now. As we talk, he's fighting and battling out marriage rights in the court of the Supreme Court. So I feel very blessed about being exposed to folks like them. There's enough and more learning, and happy to be the face of change, or an ambassador, so to say. So that's really my view.
Your response is God sent, right? I just hope it registers and people take note of what we are talking. The very fact that we are able to discuss all these issues openly on a live platform means such a lot. And I'm the oddball, by the way, amongst you five, right? So,
but I would just say you're the so to say the influencer and the one who's really driving the transparency in communication. So thank you so much for doing that and being an enabler.
So I am a believer that we don't decide what we do, right? There's a higher power who gets us to do and initiate steps, and our actions are controlled by that higher power. So I'm happy God pushed me to do this.
Well, I just want to congratulate everybody out there, and I'm glad we're having a conversation surrounding this as well. So thank you.
Excellent. So we're now at the halfway stage in terms of questions. But ahead of the timeline, we'll cover it. We have to do another 5, 7, 10 minutes, no problem. This is an important show. I'll take a short 15, 20-second commercial break with Diversey. Let's play the Tasky Ultimax video. So here we are back, and I'll push in with the next question. With Kadambari, that's to you. Are you ready?
Sure.
So perhaps in a first in the Indian hospitality industry, like I said, Ranju has already been there. She's done it. You've spoken about it. You responded to that. That's behind us. Now tell me, from breaking the glass ceiling to breaking domain barriers, gradually women are breaking into typical male-led domains such as engineering, procurement, security, technology, revenue. The other departments you guys have conquered.
So
when are you going to handle these?
So I think I'm going to give a bit of a long-winded answer to something like this. I'm not going to be so direct. I come from an army background, and for the longest time, I've seen my mother match the steps of my father. She spoke her mind. She held an audience when she needed to. She was part of a lot of the networking activities. She was a part of a lot of the welfare activities. I think short of just doing my dad's day-to-day work at the army, she was doing almost everything that he was doing, right? So for me, it seemed like a very equitable world. But typically, you fly the nest. I moved into a boarding school, education, college. I realized that there were a lot of differences, biases, stereotypes that did exist. But along the journey, what I did realize was that those biases and stereotypes that existed were built by us. It was we who created the shackles. It wasn't anybody else. It was in everybody's mind, right? Today, the way I see it is education, awareness, the exposure that a lot of us have been exposed to have given us a very different perspective to life.
Don't worry, she'll come back. Even Hercules dropped it. That's okay. It's part and parcel of doing virtual shows. We'll give her time.
Sure.
Yeah.
There, I think what also has happened is that we've seen a lot of the women and the men become allies. And when that happens, and when you have allies and you have a congenial work environment, in all of this, you only move forward. Growth, advances, progressiveness is something that comes along, right? I want to give examples of our company because it's close to my heart. We have a lady who is leading the revenue management discipline in our continent, that's Asia Pacific, excluding China. Our global CFO, who now also overlooks the development, and that's a huge part of what she does, is also a lady. We've recently opened in Hyderabad an all-women hotel, right? And so going directly now to what you're saying, we have engineers who are women. We have security heads who are women. We have associates, the employees who we call as associates, all across every discipline, whether it's finance, sales, revenue, engineering, IT, you name it. And we have women over there. So really, what is traditional? What is non-traditional? What is male-dominated? What is not male-dominated? I think is in the mind of the beholder. Literally. So it's more about embracing the change. It's about taking the headwinds, like you said, so move ahead, be that lead change, be the change that you want to see. And only when you embrace all of that is where you will break all of these barriers. So coming back to that question, there are no boundaries. It's all about moving forward and looking at how you can grow and helping the others grow versus pulling somebody back.
True, but when are you going to stop serving me?
I'll get there sometime.
When? Now Bhuvi hai, Bhuvanesh hai, mujhe ye bulao.
Next show, I am sure I will get there.
Yeah. She's ensured her seat. All right. So a good one, Kadambari. So let me now get into the girl from Chennai and Bangalore, Sita. Sita, tell me, let's know about your choice of this beautiful industry, this hospitality career, and your days from hospitality school to the journey until now, as you perched the hot seat as a general manager of the rather well-appointed Aloft in Bangalore. It's a very, so I love the hotel. Sorry, girls don't mind, but I love it. Right, it's very happening. It's got that, it gets old fogs like me to feel young there.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. And I think Kadambari is waiting for me to use the word sassy, right? Because the Aloft brand value talks about sassy, savvy space, right? So I think too that this is the coolest hotel in Bangalore. And I'm unapologetic about it whenever I speak about my hotel. I'm in love with this hotel. So I love this question because it gives me an opportunity to talk about two sets of individuals that are very close to my heart. The first is my mother, and the second is my team. So if I went with my career choice, I would be taking this interview because I wanted to be a journalist and not a hotelier.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. So I wanted to do Bachelor of Videography and Mass Communication from a university about 50 kilometers away from my home. And my mother thought that journalism is a very risky profession for an adventurous young girl like me. And she thought hospitality was very safe. But, I agree with her. Now that I've spent 18 years in the industry, I agree with her that it is not that journalism is risky, but that hospitality is actually a very beautiful environment for a woman to work in. But she is the one who kind of brainwashed is the wrong word, but yes, she inspired me to do this. She said, go to hotel school and you will like it. And I did like it. So I did my IHM from the beautiful IHM Kovalam next to the beach front. And the college is really beautiful. After that, I did my MBA in Human Resources and Training, and then I went to OCLD to do my postgraduate diploma in Guest Service Management. And I have been very fortunate in the industry because I got to work with front office, food and beverage, sales and marketing, rooms division as a whole, and then to become a general manager. Till a couple of years ago, I used to wonder whether it was an advantage or a disadvantage. But now that I am working as a general manager, I think it's definitely an advantage to have insights into so many different roles and departments. But when it comes to talking about Aloft, I have been working at Aloft, Bangalore Outer Ring Road for over 18 months now. And I believe it's true, like the coolest hotel. When I joined this hotel, the hotel was named Aloft, Bangalore.
Seriously.
Sorry? Yeah, I've taken it very seriously. And I love the fact that you visited here and you like it, like you said. It's a very young hotel, and it's something that makes everybody feel very young. The environment in the hotel is such. Yeah. But when it comes to diversity and inclusion, I believe that the entire team at Aloft conduct ourselves with great awareness. Currently, 28% of the workforce are women, but we also have differently abled individuals working with us, and we try to be as inclusive as any hotel can be. We also closely work with NGOs like Satya Foundation and a few others. We support students from economically weaker sections, and I've been very conscious about having hired a couple of ladies from the local communities around the hotel to cook some meals in the cafeteria. And Marriott, one of the core values, we talk about spirit to serve. It's in the DNA of what we do. And the leadership team and I at this hotel try to live by it. So when I talk about spirit to serve, when it comes to spirit to serving our guests, we compete with premium and luxury brands in Asia Pacific, excluding China. And we won the highest guest satisfaction score award amongst the Aloft brand in Asia Pacific, which I think is a big win. And when it comes to spirit to serving the community, we recently, it was in April, that we went to a land in outskirts of Bangalore and planted 200 plus trees. We conduct CSR activities with great vigor. Everybody participates as a team. Also, we are one of the platinum certified hotel in Indian Green Building Council. We tick almost all the boxes when it comes to spirit to serving the community or being sustainable. But last but not the least is the spirit to serve our associates, which is one of the core values that Marriott International drives strongly, that is putting people first. And at Aloft, we have built a foundation of trust and transparency with the team. And last year in the employee engagement survey, we scored a 94%, which made me a little worried because it was a great score and what we would do this year. But my wonderful team gave us all a gift of 98% this year. And I think this is a result of the leadership team trying to be transparent and growing homegrown talent, which made us see 16 promotions in just last 8 months. And I have been very fortunate to lead a beautiful team of individuals who are aligned with me to achieve a.
She's coming back, don't worry. This is
a common goal. And that is also a reason why I have won my heart. Sorry?
No, go ahead, don't worry.
Sorry. Okay. So I think that's something that has been a very proud moment for the entire team and I.
Apart from doing your midterm appraisal, you also put across your views extremely well. Yeah, but good work. Why shouldn't we be proud of what we are doing? We have to take pride. We have to, we are after all stretching. We are stretching to excel. We are stretching to give back to our brand for the faith that they've, reposed in us. And also we owe it to our leadership and our colleagues, our peers who work along with us. So far, so good. Thus far, so good. Just keep doing well, keep excelling. Now, let me coming to Manisha. Manisha, are you ready for the next one? You're at the race course. So
Please tell me.
they're always ready. You know, they're just right. You're just
Have to
waiting for the
be.
gate.
You still have to come to my hotel.
वो मेरे को बुलाया ही नहीं. भेजो आप टिकट मैं आता हूँ.
You have to come because then you have to be fair to me.
No, I'll come. Pakka, I'm coming. So, first of all, you girls should block October 2021 for the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards. Ajit, I want to, after this question, I want to show the nominations wala link, the announcement. So get that slide ready with Salman. So, Manisha.
Yes.
General management to leadership should come easy to women who juggle two full-time careers at home and at work. I'm privy to that. Privy to it with my mother, my sisters, my wife, and now my daughter's still working. So really, she's now married. So God willing. Tell me.
Okay, nice question, and thank you so much for that. So juggling of roles, I would say, comes naturally to us under the most visible trait that we have of multitasking. Women's experience in maintaining equilibrium amidst diverse responsibilities also talks about adaptability trait, which is another leadership trait that we have. Handling work and home demand, strategic planning, delegation, both are critical attributes of effective management that we do. Thus, many women tend to exhibit a heightened ability to lead teams and navigate complexities. Their unique perspective enriches organizations and their culture, and hence it is extremely important for us to look at more women for leadership roles. At the same time, as Sita mentioned and as Kadambari mentioned, the core values that we have, these are all directly linked to the organizational culture that we enrich through our multitasking and through many traits that we bring on the table. This is also a significant change or a paradigm shift that we were talking about earlier in the question. And hence, it is important for us to look at women for the leadership roles. If I just look at this panel, I have many of my colleagues here and Amreeta who juggle, these roles between family and career every day, and have also fulfilled their dreams of moving in the organization, growing into GM roles. So, and I know for sure, like Kadambari moved from sales and marketing, Shibani from finance, Sita just mentioned her story. She's also recently won the Mrs. India pageant as the first runners-up and done nation proud. And so these are the women leaders on this panel today who have been juggling in their roles and have been contributing to the hotel, have grown from their departments into general manager roles. So this is a trait that we have, which adds not only to the task that we do, but also adds compassion to our roles that we do and bring a lot more value to the hotels. So that's my view of this.
Tell me, ये award कैसे जीती भाई?
ये तो सीता ही बता सकती है.
Tell me.
She swore all of us to secrecy, and now Manisha has let the cat out of the bag.
This is a live show, and it's.
Tell me more about this. I'm interested. I'm holding on.
So I recently participated in July in a beauty pageant, which is a Mrs. India Pride of Nation 2023. This happened at the Taj in Jaipur, and I was the first runner-up.
Not bad. And what did you get? A Mercedes?
I have no idea what I'm getting, but it's been just less than a month. But I'm constantly in touch with them. There are assignments coming my way. Let's see what happens. But I'm a hotelier first, right?
Khanna, she's done proud to us.
To all of us. I'm so happy and proud. But more to you. And did you have a party? Did the family celebrate?
Yes, yes, absolutely. The team also did. Yes, everybody has been so happy. My son has been walking around the house wearing the crown. So,
all right. Congratulations.
thank
We
you.
will see those pictures soon. So
Yes.
tell me, Manisha,
Yes.
you presented a good case. Excellent. I shall now move to Amrita. Amrita, मेरे को ये बताओ, what is your message to the impressionable? We will be failing in our duty if we do not showcase this industry to the ones who are out seeking hospitality education and the ones who finished hospitality education for good hospitality careers. So to that extent, you are great brand ambassadors and industry ambassadors, right? So tell me, what is your message to these impressionable who are at the crossroads of deciding a career for themselves? Sell them a career and opportunities in this classy industry. When I tell you classy means this industry polishes you up to become fine, gentle ladies and gentlemen, right? In that order. So what's your point?
Absolutely. I'll pick it from there. As you mentioned, classy. I would like to use the statement what Ritz-Carlton uses. We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. So apt and so true. This is a career. I mean, I would start from the whole, hospitality management as a curriculum and then opting as a career. It is such a big transformation. When I compare, I mean, by no means I want to say which is superior, which is not, but I'm saying that it refines our personality. We, at the end of our course, when we finish a good 5-7 years in the industry, juggling different departments, getting into industrial training, to some of those who are more passionate get into the management trainings. Once we finish that and get into the mid-management roles, we've become a well-rounded personalities, very different. We can become good hosts to people. Our understanding of hospitality or treating people or being more patient or handling difficult situation is way better and different than I would think any other curriculum can offer. And that's why it has become one of those most expansive, I would say, career option and opportunity people are taking. After passing out of hotel management colleges, they are opting for various other career fields. While hotels, yes, in hotels, you have such immense opportunities. Each of these hotel management colleges I have been visiting in the last 3 or 4 years, or my human resource team, when they visit, they always talk about 100% placements. I mean, isn't that wow? I mean, student passing out and they have a secure job. Which other career opportunity gets you that 100% placement? I'm not very sure of. So this is one of the advantages. And then the limitless opportunities which is lined up ahead. Needless to say, it makes us, more resilient. Our agility on, various situations is way different. And again, coming to some of us who have different sorts of passions, especially I would say these days, the kids these days belonging to the Gen Z and coming ahead is Gen Alpha for us. So all of them, they have various sorts of passions in terms of adventures or going distances. I would say hospitality is an amazing option. You could be a restaurant manager at at Swiss Alps, or an activity manager at somewhere in New Zealand doing some adventurous activity. So this is the vastness, or the different I would say a broad spectrum career opportunities, or talk about the most sought after locations. The hospitality is there. So this is something which is very unique to this industry, or this particular career option. As you said, very glamorous and classy. And I would just like to give one, last message to these young budding hoteliers is that when you are in this, at the verge of your first chapter of the professional story, when you are there and you have to choose a career which is full of self-discovery, adventure, we need to embrace ourselves, be in this industry, be all set to rock the world, and then rest is all. It's a wonderful journey, I would say, and there's no looking back.
Thank you for that. But to the impressionable and the uninitiated, if I was to tell them, each hotel employs, depending on the size of the hotel, right? Depending upon the classification of the hotel, employs between 100 to 1,000 people, right? And look at the domains, there are close to about 20 or 30 verticals in every hotel. You can be a chef within the F&B space. You could be in a restaurant. You could be in the kitchen. You could be in the banquets. You could be doing so much. You could be you could be a hotel manager as the number 2 to a general manager. You could be in the spa, front office. So the jobs are aplenty, and you're trained to be very classy. The way you deal with people. And how many of you deal with VIPs, with stars, with Deepika Padukone, or Alia Bhatt, or Shah Rukh Khan? So how many cricketers? So, and you get paid for it, right? And you get to see the world. So yeah, for all the youngsters who are watching, be there. This is the career that you should grab with both hands. Last but not the least, Shibani, kithe hai tu?
Anji, pretty much here.
All right. So let Punjabi gives jawab in English. All right. So I have 2 quick ones. You have a son, but I'll also touch on the daughter part.
Anji.
Right? For your children, especially daughters, will it be hospitality, or they've had enough of seeing their mom do it? One. And having worked through various departments in the industry, which do you find the most interesting, rewarding, and where you wish you would work?
Wow. Okay. So we'll break it down just like the way you took it. So the first one, absolutely hospitality. Why not? No nepotism here. So I just think it's the passion of working with people, and every day is a new day. It's unique. You're posed and faced with challenges like nothing other. In fact, I always draw an analogy on this piece, where I say that there are 2 sets of people who, are guided by passion to do the job, and they do what they do every day. One is our defense folks, standing at the border, keeping people safe. And then there's our community. Yeah, we are standing in the hotels and taking care of people, bringing in happiness. And I think with the growing importance on wellness, mental wellness, we just fit the bill right there. So essentially for me, if you ask me, I always say hospitality is a contact sport. Yeah, we connect, we touch each other, we win together, and we make a difference. So fundamentally, that's my take. And I think it's essential for me to sign off to say that we serve with a smile. I mean, I'm sure you've seen us all smile through this whole session too. So I think that's my big one really there. Moving on to the second one. So as Manisha just shared, I used to be a finance professional for quite some time, or should I say my previous life, until I decided to change gears and, take on the role of being a general manager, So it's interesting in my journey thus far. The one thing that I really celebrate is that I feel very blessed about being participating in different business and different business leaders' success, thus far. And, in terms of rewarding / celebrations, if you ask me, I'm essentially a very people's person. I'm a social animal, like I call myself every now and then. And essentially, I draw a whole lot of energy from my associates, from my customers. And there's so much to learn, when you listen into their stories and, their journeys. And essentially, I'm a happy person in what I'm doing currently. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, it does. It does. And yeah, great industry, great opportunities, great career. That also brings me to the end of the show. It's moved a little too quickly, but I'd like to really step in and sum it up. And if I miss out on something, I would want you to just point it out. Look, first of all, I'm extremely delighted that I got in to do this show with you. It's the roll of the dice, who comes into which show, what show comes when, but I know how the trajectory is, which way the entire wheel is rolling. So after the South, I'm now moving to the East for our first few shows there before I come back to the North and West and South. Having said that, the subject of the show and what we've discussed, it's extremely important for all of us who are watching the show. Diversity, inclusion, and equal job opportunities are very essential and critical to the progress of this industry. And also, who made this point? This industry comes in so naturally for women, right? Not just aviation, airlines, or education, right? And for that matter, within the industry, not just housekeeping, right? Or room service or what have you. You have to, or front office, you have to break the glass ceiling and get out of your comfort zone and take on the headwinds. And you five of you who are ambassadors for all the ladies who work in this industry, you've done exactly that, right? So you've now got to lead the change, not just within your hotel, within Bangalore, within Karnataka, within the South, within the entire India. And you have to ensure that it's not very easy to reach out and explain to everybody. So some learn it fast, some learn it slow, some never learn, ignore them, right? So whoever you can get into your fold sooner than the others, please get them in. And count on me to do as much as I can along with my colleagues for this cause. I am wedded to a few ideas. I'm wedded to diversity, inclusion, equal job opportunities. I am wedded to the idea of making lives of the lesser fortunate better, for sustainability, for environment, right? We've got to become a conduce when you are burning consumables, right? We've got to be very careful when we are using tissues, when we are dealing with people. Some people have low or higher level of sensitivity. So you've got to gauge that out and talk to them in the language that they understand. Thank you for being here. Thank you for affording me and my colleagues this opportunity to host this show, this important topic. And go far in life. Don't forget us when you when you've gone to the next level. All right. And before I go away, permit me to thank my colleagues over here, Tanvi, Shweta, Prashant, Kartikeya, Salman, not the Salman who drives over pavements, Ajit, Saurabh, Amit, Nilesh, all of you, right? And before we close the show, I want you to show the slide, the nominations for the BW Hotelier Indian Hospitality Summit and Awards are opening within the next few days. There you go, right? Be there. Look out for the nomination. The window is going to be very short, barely 2 weeks. All right. We have to turn it around very fast. We have to process the nominations, nominate yourself, take approvals from your corporate office, from your HR, from your bosses, and push your teams to nominate. Right? Our awards are extremely fair. I don't interfere. They're all recorded, and the best 4 regional juries and the national juries deliberate and deliver their decision. Thank you all, girls.
Thank
Be
you,
strong,
Mr. Khanna.
be
Thank you so
strong,
very much.
and more power to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Absolute
Thank you so
pleasure
much.
today.
All right, next week we see you in the East, Thursday and Friday, 2 shows. One in Calcutta, perhaps the second one also there, but both in the Northeast, both in the East. Thank you, girls. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you
bless
so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. Bye.